This book contains names and stories of First Nations people who have passed on. At times, it also covers issues of a sensitive and traumatic nature. These are voluntarily shared by First Nations AA members active in recovery from alcoholism, using the 12 steps of AA and supporting others to do the same.
My name is Tony, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm a descendant from the Yimba Nation, Western New South Wales. I was born in Brewarrina, grew up in a Tinampi on the banks of the Barwon River, approximately 4 kilometres from town. Our family lived on fresh fish, kangaroo, emu, johnny cakes and vegetables when we could afford it. We were happy families and shared with the deepest love and respect from each other. At 16 years of age, I was introduced to alcohol. The pubs around those days were like business centres, where most people went to find employment or inquire of any other issues that was going on around the local area. In 1977, my mum, dad, 4 sisters and 3 brothers came to Mount Druitt as a result of the 1967 referendum resettlement for Aboriginal people. By 1991, all my family's members were diseased as a result of drugs and grog. The trauma, loss and grief drove me to the point where I didn't want to live and I didn't want to die. I thought alcohol was my best friend, but it was my worst enemy, as it soothed the pain that was shattering my spirit. Due to drink driving and other issues with the law, I was assigned to a probation parole officer at Mount Druitt. It seemed this man knew what he was talking about, as he referred me to a fine Aboriginal man named Les B, who lived in St Mary's. I've had known Les since I was 12 years of age. He originally came from Bollen, a little town near the Queensland border and New South Wales border. On Saturday, the 7th of January 1992, I was sitting at the Bidwell Clock Tavern, thinking about court and drinking grog. I managed to get a taxi to Les's home. I had not seen Les for years. And when I walked towards him, he put his arms around me and said, "Tony, I knew God will bring you back to me, my brother." I said to myself, "Oh no, he must have turned a Christian or done Bible studies or something." He took me inside his home where I met his wife and children and handed him the paper to sign for court. He looked at the paper and said, "Did you do this?" I said, "Yeah." He crumpled it up and threw it in the bin. Les then said, "I can't help you with the court, but I can help you getting off the grog. There is an AA meeting at 12:30 at St Mary's." I had never heard of AA before, but went with Les anyway. After the meeting, I went back to Les's home, crying and grieving for my family. I kept going to meetings with Les and met so many characters that were sober for a long time. These were the characters that walked with me out of the pits of despair and onto the road of recovery. Les B, Beatty Bob, Nebel from St Mary's, Secondhand Danny, Phil, Dougie, and Brian from Richmond, Plumber John, Catscan, Danny, Noel, George, St Mary's, Lloyd from Green Valley, Lloyd from Armidale, No Shoes Freddie, Earthquake, and the list goes on and on. Then the miracle happened. I admitted I was an alcoholic and my life was unmanageable. Giving back that was given to me. In early 94, I thought entered my mind and I should do something to help my people who are suffering from the disease of alcoholism. I met with many elders and community people about my ideas, and together we started a Fire Bucket Courier meeting in the backyard of a cottage in Edmonton. Since then, we established a purpose-built centre for my people to find recovery from alcoholism, which still exists to this day.